Alright, so this video, my goal is to clear up a misconception. So there's a lot of content creators or just people in general that claims that they understand this process of awakening or enlightenment, and they claim that enlightenment or awakening or honestly the word I prefer to use is oneness. I don't like to use those terms because they're overplayed. But they claim that this is a state where it's just so positive, so happy, so everything is amazing. Like that's what they make it seem to be, and that's just not the truth. Now, I'm not saying that these people are frauds and fake people and just claiming to know the subject matter but don't really know it. Not necessarily, because I feel like as you start to ascend within to consciousness, that's your understanding. But perhaps they haven't ascended high enough to understand, like, no, that actually isn't the ending of, well, that actually isn't the path that I'm taking. It might feel like that's what enlightenment is right now, but that's actually not the truth of the matter. So perhaps they just haven't journeyed far enough into the wilderness to understand that that's not the truth. Doesn't mean that they're liars, just mean that they're telling their truth, but it's not the full truth. They haven't experienced enough to give you a better perception. Just how my truth is probably the truth, but someone who has been on this journey for way longer than I have can tell you something that contradicts my truth. Doesn't mean that I'm wrong. I'm correct within my level of consciousness and my level of awareness, and everyone who's under me will also benefit from my level of consciousness and awareness. But someone who's way above me, he's gonna look down on me and be like, yo, I remember when I was at that consciousness level. Yeah, I remember I thought the same thing. But now I'm way up here, and now I think differently. Now I have a bigger picture to interpret to give myself a better understanding of things. So yeah, I'm not over here attacking no one. I'm just saying be careful who you listen to, because some people are on different levels. But to give you a full representation from my level of perception, my level of consciousness of what oneness is, it's not just light, it's not just positivity, it's not just. See, I most align with Taoism. I don't claim any religion, definitely not religious at all. But if I had to align myself with any philosophy, it would definitely be Taoism. So the number one rule of Taoism first is the Tao that you can name is not a Tao. So please don't ask me what is Taoism. Don't ask me how to describe Taoism. Don't actually explain it. Because the more that I describe it, the more that I explain it, the more that I try to get you to understand it, the less true it becomes. It's just a matter of knowing. If you know the Tao, then you know the Tao, and then it's a mutual understanding that requires no words and no explanation. But I'm not gonna get too woo-woo right now. But just to make clear, you understand the yin and the yang. So when people try to find this enlightenment space, they tend to gravitate towards the yang, just all light. I'm hoping I'm saying it correct. I could be saying that mismatch, but I'm pretty sure the light is the yang. And they claim to be this light, this positivity, this happiness, this love. And don't get me wrong, that is crucial. That's a part of the journey that is solely focused on that. Because first you have to learn that and integrate that and fully assess that. But that's not the totality of it. It's just a level of it. It's just a journey of it. But there's more to that, because if you only do that, then it becomes duality. It becomes yin and yang. But when you put them two together, then it becomes oneness. And then oneness also includes the yin. The yin also includes the not so happy, not so positive, not so light, not so joyful, all the other aspects of it. Or if I was to use more psychology terms, you only think about the superconscious, but not the unconscious. So the unconscious is where all the repressed memories, the repressed desires, the repressed emotions are. But like the superconscious is like this enlightened state, this happy state, this blissful state, this 4D state. So I forgot who said it, but it was something in the realm of what you repress only comes out more fierce. So, for example, when I started semen retention, before I even understood what semen retention was, I just started my journey of it, I repressed my sexual desires. I wasn't having no sex, doing no fap. I was just retaining my semen. And I didn't really understand the process of doing so. So while I was doing this, I only became hypersexualized. Like I was lustful. I was very, very agitated, I was frustrated, sexually frustrated. I had all this energy in me, and I just repressed it. I didn't let it out. I didn't use it in any beneficial way. I just retained it. I'm just holding all this energy in. And the more that I repress it, the more it starts screaming out to me. I started having wet dreams. I started having sexual thoughts. I started it became worse than it was than before I repressed it. That's because I didn't understand it. I just repressed it. But now that I understand semen retention isn't about repressing your sexual desires, it's about transmuting your sexual desires. So yes, you don't have sex, and yes, you don't ejaculate, but you don't just retain and repress all that energy within you. You let that energy out through a more creative format. So like art, dancing, music, any creative format. It could be martial arts. I love doing martial arts. I use my sexual energy a lot to do martial arts. I use my sexual energy a lot to make music. Kevin Gates too. That's literally one of my favorite rappers because he understands. Like, I know when y'all listen to him talk, y'all like, what is this man talking about? But the only reason why he speaks so sexually is because he uses music to he uses his sexual energy to make music. And I only understand that because I do the same thing. So when he speaks sexually, it's not because he's having sex every day. It's because he's not having sex, and he have a bunch of sexual energy that he needs to get out. And he's like, "How can I get this out? Okay, cool. I'm gonna make music audible sex." So making you think that he's audible sex, but he's not. He just has so much in him that he needs to get out. And then when he get on this interviews, he's talking about this, he's talking about that. The only reason why he's talking about that is because it's on his mind, it's in him. He needs to get it out because he's not letting that sexual energy out. But if he had let that sexual energy out, then it would be no need for him to talk about that stuff because it's not inside of him to get out. But anyhow, he's super spiritual. A lot of people sleep on him thinking he's crazy. Super spiritual. Definitely tune into Kevin Gates. He understands. But yeah, that's just explanation of why all positivity and all happiness and all joyfulness, that's not enlightenment. That's false. It's not true at all. It's just not realistic. It's like a idealism. It's like, no, it's not true. Because at that point you're repressing your unconscious, you're repressing your dark side. And you never want to repress your dark side, because then the more you repress your dark side, the more it comes out, the more you start having dark thoughts, like really, really dark thoughts. The more that you start having glimpse of your unconscious taking over your consciousness. Because don't forget, it is a battle between consciousness. You have your superconscious, your unconscious, your subconscious. They all want control. They all want control. And usually when you start off, like as a baby, it's a superconscious in charge. And then as you become conditioned by the world, by school, by media, by influences, you start becoming unconscious. And then it's a battle to get back that consciousness. So then when you start doing the work, you become conscious. And then you start realizing that you're no longer a human, you're a spiritual being having a human experience. Then that's a subconscious. And then you fully integrate back into the super conscious again. So don't forget, it's all journeys. It's like the hero's journey. Joseph Campbell, if you read that, it's a hero's journey. So you have to integrate each level of consciousness. You have to go through each consciousness state in order to transcend. But these consciousness are constantly battling each other. So like it's a total integration and the balance of them. It's like the avatar. He has to balance all four elements. He has to, or else one will take over and then another one will not be developed as much. So he has to make sure that he's training each and every one. I understand in Avatar The Last Airbender, it's not just about, oh, I control fire. No, it's a philosophy behind fire. It's not just, oh, I control air. No, it's a philosophy behind air. You have to understand, what does air represent? Air represents the idea of letting go, of flowing, of being. I won't say flowing. Flowing is more so water, but just letting go and surrendering. That's what air is. And then water is just flowing, being natural, being the flow. Then fire is understanding energy and how to use it. It's not a damaging or evil thing. No, it's just energy. Fire is pure energy. And then you got earth, stability, staying grounded. Like, you have to understand all these aspects. All these aspects are really just symbolizations of the human psyche, and these are ways to explain it and express it. I know a lot of people watch and be like, nah, you're going way too deep. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. But like, yeah, like when you actually study psychology, analytical psychology, psychopsychology, and you actually go into the teachings of Carl Jung and of Joseph Campbell and of like more lately the psycho I'm not even going into all those stuff, but yeah, once you actually start going to those stuff and you start implementing it in your life, you understand like no, like these actually relate to me, who I am today, and who I am as a person, as a being, and how I can use these things to create oneness. It should never be I'm only this or I'm only that. It should never be this or that, because that's duality. The whole goal is non-duality. So no, if you hear someone saying, "Oh, I'm all happy, I'm all light, I'm all this, I'm that," just don't be sad. Sadness is a choice. Like he's not enlightened. He don't embrace the fullness. He don't embrace the wholeness. He seeks perfection. He don't seek completeness. He don't seek wholeness. He seek perfection. That is not wholeness. He is lying, and he might not be doing it intentionally. It might not be no malice or evil intent behind it, but he just have a misunderstanding. He or she, by the way, but they just have a misconception of what it means to be enlightened or wholeness or oneness. But yeah, that's all. That's all for this video. Yeah, just stay aware and start to understand things for yourself. Like even what I'm saying, this might not be true. You might be on a higher level of consciousness than me, and maybe you can correct me. I'll be highly open to it. So please, I accept feedback. But at the same time, I'm just trying to guide. Like I said, we all have a mission. Once we become consciously aware, we all have a mission to guide others into conscious awareness, not to force them into it, um not to project my beliefs onto others, but to guide those who are seeking. We are seekers, and there are other seekers. The whole point of seekers is to find the truth for themselves. But when seeker make another seeker, what they do is they conveys their truths to each other. So what this person tells me I can use, I use it. What this person tells me that I can't use, I don't use it. It's not like I'm right, you're wrong, listen to me. It's a conversation, it's a dance, it's a flow. And if I agree with what you're saying, then cool, I use it. If I don't, then I don't use it. Same thing for y'all. If y'all agree with what I'm saying, then use it. If not, then don't. We're all seekers. We all define our own truth for ourselves, but it leads to the same path. It's a different path that leads to the same mountaintop. So we all going to the same place. We just doing it through different means. Some people do it through religion. Some people do it through astrology. Some people do it through psychology. Some people do it through being in the middle of nowhere by themselves and just going within. There's different paths of the mountain. Find your path and then guide others that also travel your path. That's all it's about. It's no division. It's no separation. It's not this religion or that religion. It's not this belief or that belief. We're all one. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we can help each other. All right, I'm out.